And radio commentator Rush Limbaugh finds himself in hot water today with the left and with the right. Does he even care? David Schuster is in Washington with more on it. David.
Cameron, it all started with this comment that Rush Limbaugh made about President Obama.
He's obviously more frightened of me than he is Mitch McConnell. He is more frightened of me than he is of, say, John Boehner, which doesn't say much about our party.
That apparently went a step too far for Republican Representative Phil Gingrey of Georgia, who says Limbaugh should back off. Quote, I think that our leadership, Mitch McConnell and John Boehner, are taking the right approach. I mean, it's easy if you're Sean Hannity or Rush Limbaugh or even sometimes Newt Gingrich to stand back and throw bricks. You don't have to try to do what's best for your people and your party. Gingrey has now issued apparently another statement backing up his comments, and saying that he supports and sees eye to eye with Rush Limbaugh on several issues. In any case, joining us now to talk about all of this, MSNBC political analyst Lawrence O'Donnell. Lawrence, is Rush Limbaugh taking advantage of a leadership vacuum in the Republican Party right now?
Oh, he definitely is. There really isn't a leader. Mitch McConnell in the Senate doesn't have the kind of dynamism that you need to lead a party. The same thing with John Boehner. You know, this is the moment for the rise of the new leader. You know, Newt Gingrich was a backbencher during the dark days of the Republican minority in the House of Representatives, and he saw his opening and made his move. This is the time to make the move, whether you're a backbencher in the House or in the Senate, and grab the microphone, come up with the new ideas that can move that party forward or get people to collect around those ideas. Rush Limbaugh's emergence here has been a gift for the Democrats because he's an extremely alienating figure beyond his own base and beyond his own listenership. His politics were repudiated in this election. You know, he never selected a candidate in the Republican primaries, but what was very clear was there was no candidate he disliked more than John McCain. And then his party chose John McCain as the nominee, and then he had to get behind John McCain. And then he firmly believed that anyone who'd ever been in Reverend Wright's church should not even be considered or listened to for any office anywhere in the United States. That kind of thinking was repudiated in November. And so if Rush wants to try to cling to that microphone and that position as let me lead the Republican Party, that would be great for Democrats because he is viewed by most people outside of his listenership as an extremist. His really ugly attack on Michael J. Fox is not something that the public forgets. They don't forget the criminal problems he got into with prescription drugs. And so at a moment where this recently inaugurated president rides in the polls higher than any other recently inaugurated president in the past, to come out and say, I want him to fail, is a horrible note to hit outside of Rush's listenership. Now, within his listenership, they kind of understand what he means. He means that he wants Obama's socialist ideas, as Rush would put it, to fail. But that's a subtlety that's not going to be heard by the outside world.
Lawrence, what do you make of Representative Gingrey? I mean, he puts out the statement essentially condemning Rush Limbaugh. Then he gets lots of phone calls and puts out another statement saying, oh, no, I see eye to eye with Rush Limbaugh on most things.
Yeah, it's not a good idea if you're a Republican congressman to mention Rush in a negative way. Rush can swamp your switchboard in 10 minutes with phone calls that will make you flip on that. And so the smarter political move is to just, you know, stay quiet about that. It didn't help. It didn't make Boehner any stronger or McConnell any stronger to say, you know, they're doing a good job and Rush should stop criticizing them. I mean, perfectly reasonable points he made, but there's no sense sticking his neck out among Rush's constituency. You know, they're very active people in the world of Republican politics, and they're very energetic, and so you don't want to get on their wrong side. There's no advantage to that.
MSNBC political analyst Lawrence O'Donnell.
Let me ask you about this dust-up with Rush Limbaugh. Yesterday, Congressman Phil Gingrey from Georgia, criticized Limbaugh for coming out against the president on this. Today, he went on Rush's show and apologized to Rush for taking issue with what he had said. Let's listen.
I clearly ended up putting my foot in my mouth on some of those comments, and I just wanted to tell you, Rush, and all our conservative giants, who help us so much to maintain our base and grow it and get back this majority, that I regret those stupid comments.
Well, I appreciate that.
So, do you agree with the way Rush Limbaugh has gone after President Obama?
Look, I mean, Andrea, we are a free country. We all have the ability and should have the ability.
Absolutely. I'm just asking you if you agree with what he's been saying. He's really been taking them on.
Again, what I believe is that the stimulus bill, which is the subject of the debate here, doesn't reach the level and the standard that President Obama has set. You know, his election was premised largely on the fact that he was going to provide hope that he could change the way that Washington works, that we weren't going to go about the old pork barrel spending and the gargantuan government programs that are in this bill. So my message to President Obama, and I believe Rush's as well, I can't put words in his mouth, was and should be, look, let's raise the standard to what you set. Let's work with Speaker Pelosi and let's make this bill a stimulus bill. Let's make sure that it protects the jobs that we have and then creates an environment where we will see new jobs.
One White House aide told Politico, I'm just trying to get this quote here, a vote against the economic recovery is no free vote for congressional Republicans. You've got a really popular president. You've lost most of the moderate Republicans. And, you know, according to this White House aide, it's a dangerous vote. They're going to have to think long and hard about voting with their district in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, the Midwest, etc. Republicans' constituents expect them to take action on the economy. There is a downside here for you Republicans. You're a much smaller group now, aren't you?
Listen, Andrea, you know, when you have facts on your side, you do the right thing. What the country is expecting is not some political vote. Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, they're expecting a vote on a bill that actually produces results. What our position is, this bill is not a stimulus bill. It's more government spending. And we've got to borrow $2,700 per every man, woman, and child in this country to pay for this bill. If you're going to do that, you better sure get it right. This bill is not right yet. This vote today will be the first step in the process. We've told the President and the White House we want to continue to work with them and work with Speaker Pelosi to try and get it right so we can see this economy come back.
And do you agree, getting back to Rush for a second, do you agree with Rush, what he said earlier this week, that he hopes that Obama will fail as president because otherwise it will usher in socialism in this country?
Again, Andrea, I didn't hear what Rush said, but what I can tell you is all of America wants this economy to come back. We're all in this together. We've got to work very hard right now to make sure we get it right. We're talking adding over $1 trillion additionally to our debt out of this bill alone, once you factor in the interest costs. Again, we're borrowing this money. This is going onto the backs of our children. We better get it right, and that's what we all should be focused on.
I'm not a crook.